Sharks, dialectical sharks, can masquerade their criminal insanity as perfectly reasonable. I'll give you an example. Were I to make a remark concerning an item of interest in Alexander Solzhenitsyn's commencement address at Harvard in the spring of 1978, dialectical shark could say that you must support the war in Vietnam because he did in that commencement address. Obviously, this is opportunistic and not at all credible. What Solzhenitsyn did say, which I agree with, was that a legal system is necessary for a vital society, but it's not good enough. It must also involve society's moral responsibility, because without moral responsibility, an objective legal system can get virtually nowhere in the problems of the human community. I'm paraphrasing him. This is my fundamental disagreement with Joe Biden. He says the legal system works because if you understand due process, you have the advantage of an attorney, and you have sufficient funds, you can petition the government for redress and you may get a fair shake. What I disagree with is that it works because the enormity that was visited upon me and continues to be visited upon me goes without reproach. There's no moral responsibility when it comes to Jimmy Crary. There's only opportunism, criminal insanity, virulence, and sharking. I'm dealing with the criminally insane. Some of these people have reasoned from platforms of dialectical mania, from their union desks. They author an absurd genocidal crime. Pick an object, an observation, the object, under the auspices of a police society genocide warrant, yeehaw, and make a bunch of that. And it's that obscene, it's that insane, it's that crooked, it's that poisonous, it's that vicious. And it gets endorsed by these street scholars who think they're all uh, excellency because they cut down the white who thought he was better than us. And most of them are white themselves, rich. They can hear. They weren't subject to torture and poison. What gives? Joe Biden said that the deaths of COVID were uh, tragic, a heartbreak. For each death was a heartbreak. But we learned for our collective welfare. In other words, each man's death is a tragedy, but focus on the statistic. He said there will be another. Bye, Odin. Don't do it again. Get to the bottom of these biolabs and put a stop to their capacity to visit these monstrosities on us. The dialectical card sharking will go down in history as the NAACP's complicity in genocide, just as they were complicit in what happened in Vietnam. And they're playing for a penny because they know what's at stake is their licky chops genocide millions. Millions. And they put it off on me. I had nothing to do with it. They say if I get an injury settlement, I have to die. They're criminally insane. And that's why the legal system can't be said to work. There's no moral responsibility underwriting it. I haven't gone through my life looking and ferreting and conniving to make money. I went homeless for 2 years to get away from a gang that was busted on an $8 million museum heist. I didn't want what Ed Ozen would call a piece of the action. I've never trusted the Israeli Americans, not because of what they did to me, but because of their malice towards people who I don't know anything about, who seem perfectly innocent. So what I'm saying is there were good things in Biden's speech. We do have to stop bitterness of the past from projecting into our future. But it's not innocuous that we ignored these tendencies. It's not innocuous that we waited so long. Doris Lessing, under the pseudonym of Jane Somers, said, "If the old could, if the young knew." The young want to know, but they turn to each other. They want to know each other. They want to know from each other what to do. It's a form of generationalism. Some old people do know what to do. Some old people can help in echo schools. I call upon the United Nations to draw upon echo retraining seminars like the World Wildlife Foundation. Create something like that or purchase it from them and have an international hookup for echo school training, echo city training. Keep up the transformative information process. I know I'm just a lickspittle, but from one lickspittle to another, I hope to see you around.